Today's a significant day here in Macomb County. Back in March, we made an announcement. We were moving forward with what we call a public defender's office here in Macomb County. Something that there had been a movement on behalf of the state, talking about what are we doing with reforms in the criminal justice system. Every one of us up here have had some experience in the criminal justice system for some time, varying degrees of time. But interesting enough, we realized, there is a need for some change, a significant change in how we're dealing with people that are accused of a crime, and providing them the right type, I guess, if you will, of defense to challenge, some of the issues that maybe that they are confronted with. And so with that, 30 years in law enforcement, I realized just because a police officer makes an arrest doesn't mean that the person is guilty of a crime. And we needed to have a balance. There needed to be a little bit of a fair opportunity for people to get proper representation. Knowing that, that had been kind of a question for quite some time, and, what we were going to do here in Macomb County, it wasn't so much that there was pressure on behalf of the state to try to figure out how do we move forward with this reform. There was, without question, an interest within the criminal justice system here to do such a thing. Whether it was through community corrections, law enforcement agencies, even the judiciary. There were challenges on behalf of the prosecutor's office about this and how we were going to do it, and understandably so. But with that being said, we realized there's an opportunity here with the movement on behalf of the state, specifically with funding. And there was support through grants to fund a public defender's office to varying degrees. But here in Macomb County, even with the new charter that we had that was established well over 10 years ago, there was an interest in behalf of the people here in Macomb County to have a public defender's office created. And so we realized that the executive office, now having the opportunity to push forward with that was going to happen. And the public defender's office is going to be run through the executive branch. It's no longer going to be part of the courts. And with that being said, I had the responsibility to work with these folks. And whether it was Jim Massaroni, James Biernat, Bill Hackle, these judges here in Macomb County were part of the process moving forward and helping us try to figure out how do we design the right type of system here in Macomb County for defendants and with this public defender's office. Now think about it. Back in March is when we made a formal appointment, and it was near the end of March we appointed Tom as that administrator for this program. Just prior to that is when the pandemic, I guess, if you will, the coronavirus issue hit us here in Macomb County. March 13th was our first case, and immediately we went through, a state of emergency in the county, throughout the state, had a lockdown, moving people out of the buildings. There was a challenge, even trying to figure out what we're doing with the courts at that point in time. So, as though it may appear that things just shut down or slowed down or stopped, that didn't happen here in Macomb County in many areas. The court still tried to figure out how do they administer justice through the process. We had to figure out what we're doing from a variety of different areas of responsibilities we have, but one of those areas was this public defender's office. We didn't stop, we didn't put it on hold, and Tom was the guy that continued that process moving forward. He was extremely motivated to continue to make sure that this public defender's office was going to be established here in Macomb County this year, and he did just that. And so putting together a plan, looking at the future, what we wanted to do, how do we establish that office. But the main purpose of being here today is to make the formal announcement that the public defender here in Macomb County is selected. And we have selected the individual, and it is Tom Tomko. I think all of us agreed he is without question the person that truly has an incredible amount of passion and understanding, and is willing to work with everybody within the system to try to figure out how do we make the best and the right decision. Now, across the state, there are varying degrees of public defenders' offices that are being established. I think we are well ahead of the curve in Macomb County. Some are just administering it through their executive, offices, whatever that might be for particular counties. But here in Macomb County, we decided we wanted to go with a full, if you will, public defender's office. And with that being said, we are now there. There's still more to work through. There's still more to do within the office itself. That will be Tom's responsibility along with the rest of his staff as he starts to bring them on board. But with that being said, we're extremely proud here in Macomb County to be ahead of the curve in dealing with this public defender's office to make sure that when we deal with people that are accused of a crime, that people are going to have their rights afforded to them and having the right type of defense so that they can properly be vetted through the process to make a determination, are they responsible for the crimes they're being accused of. So with that being said, I'd like to formally announce and bring to the microphone Tom Tomko, our first public defender here in Macomb County. Tom?
Our goal is to provide competent, vigorous, effective representation for individuals that they can't afford an attorney. So they're considered indigent. So indigent, criminal, adult defendants, that's our goal, to represent them. We have an administrative function as well. That function is to manage the roster attorneys. Roster attorneys, again, are independent attorneys. They get court appointments. They have to be assigned, so there's a system of assignment. When they're done, they present a bill. That bill then has to be reviewed and processed. So this is another part of the function of the Macomb County Public Defender's Office. So we're pleased and happy to move forward. We're excited about that opportunity. Our goal is to do everything we can to provide the best, efficient, competent, vigorous defense for indigent defendants in Macomb County. So I appreciate the opportunity and looking forward to fill the big shoes that I've been given by all my peers here.
Right when COVID hit back in March, we were just starting the process of transferring all that stuff that the court used to do with court-appointed counsel to the Public Defender's Office. Tom's been working great with the people, our people at the Court Administrator's Office, and we look for a future working with Tom, and he'll do a great job, I'm sure of it. All right, Tom, could you raise your right hand? You, Thomas Tomko, do solemnly swear to apply the standards and rules set forth in the United States Constitution, the Constitution of the State of Michigan, the laws of the State of Michigan, Michigan court rules, and the Michigan rules of professional conduct in your role and office of Public Defender for Macomb County, so help you God.
I do.
Congratulations. I'd shake your hand, but
Congratulations.
thumbs up.
Congratulations. Thank you.